Hello everyone, and welcome to the IDF Creating and Editing. During this course, you will learn how to intake a new individual, edit the individual demographic form, or what we call the IDF, and configure the PDFs. Please note, this course is for provider admins. Now let's get started. On your admin tab, you will want to go to User Privileges Manage to ensure that your users have the appropriate privileges to complete the tasks we are reviewing today. Click on the login name and ensure that they have the agency-wide and administrative roles of IDF admin, which will allow for individual intake and editing of the individual demographic forms, and provider setup, which will allow for the PDF configuration. Scroll to the bottom and you will hit save. Back on the dashboard, we're going to intake a new individual. That is down on the admin tab under the care section, individual intake new. In Therap, red asterisks mean they are required fields. So here we are going to just choose those required fields by entering in the first name and the last name. You can edit these fields later, which I will be showing you how to do so. Once you've completed that, you can hit save. Next step for intaking an individual would be to go to program enrollment. If they are with you and are receiving those services, you would be able to click enroll next to the service that they receive. This date would be the day you started providing this service at your agency. You would click enroll. You would enter in all the services that they are enrolled in and hit save. That brings you to the individual demographic form. This individual is currently in pending admission. You have some options down here. Delete, mark as deceased. You can withdraw them from this entry, or you can admit them. I'm going to admit them. This date should be the day they started receiving services with you as a whole. So maybe that is the same date as they started the programs. And you're going to hit done. Now that individual is successfully admitted, so you can start entering data for that individual. Now let's get into how you can edit the individual demographic form. There are a few ways. Once the individual has been entered into your system through individual intake, you can go to the individual demographics list here under the care section. Enter in your individual's name, and that will take you to the individual demographic form, or the IDF. If you need to enter in this information, which includes social, birthday, anything listed here, residential address, mailing address, you would hit edit, which will open up those fields. Once you enter in everything you need, you would click on update. To edit other areas of the form, you can either click on back to the form, or you can click on any of these actions listed here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to edit it from the form. You will see those same actions listed at the bottom here. So if you needed to put in advanced directives or case status, or let's say we want to add a diagnosis list, here's those program enrollments, allergy profile, consent list, individual details, which I'm going to click on. This is some additional information that you might recognize from the emergency data form. Hair color, eye color, birthplace, ID numbers, where you can add up to 5 ID numbers now. To edit these fields, again, you would click the word edit at the bottom, and you can begin adding photos, height, with using your drop downs here. Again, nothing has red asterisks, but please note that many of these fields do auto-populate into other areas of Therap. This is somewhat like your face sheet, so as much information as you have here, the better. Now you can add up to 5 ID numbers, you can add in medical information, behavior, any type of guidelines. Once you update that to your liking, you would hit update. We're going to go back to that form. Again, those actions to edit the different areas of the individual demographic form remain here. We are still on the individual details. You would be able to add your shared contact list, assessment. This is individual contacts, insurance, team members, attached files, custom fields, and pending admission notes. But all these fields are editable. Now, if I go back to the individual demographic form, I want you to notice this little I at the very top of this form. You will see in different forms, we have update history and action history. Update history will show you the old version to a new version, and it'll be color coded. Red means no, it was changed, and the green tells you what was changed. Now the action history is going to show you who did those, who did the update, who did the admit, who created it. So it shows you the action status. So please take note of those fields in different forms as you see through there. Now that's one way to edit the individual demographic form. You can also do so by going to the individual tab, individual demographics, search. You also have the option of updating certain information such as custom fields, insurance, contact list. This diagnosis list will also show up, allergy profile. Those things will also show up on the individual demographics form. So you can edit things from the individual tab as well. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my individual. And again, it's going to bring me right to the individual demographic form where I can edit that particular form or edit any of these fields down below. Another way you can search for the individual demographics form is going to the individual homepage. I'm going to search for my individual. If you do not see it under recently accessed individuals, you would enter it here under name. This is the individual homepage for the individual. Note that you can go to different sections of the individual demographics form. I can go to the individual demographics form by clicking there, and it would bring me right to the form with those actions at the very bottom. Or I can even just edit or go to any of those fields here and take care of what I need to take care of here. Once you make changes there, you would hit save. Now we're going to learn how to configure the PDFs. On the Admin tab, go to IDF Provider Configuration, Configure. You are able to edit or configure 3 separate PDFs. We have one in that's already called Emergency Data Form with some fields selected for you. You will want to make sure that you have everything that you want in that PDF to be selected. To do so, under your available section here, you would just click the plus and it will push it over to the selected side. You have the option of enabling landscape view and showing or not showing the social security number. If that box is checked, it will show the social. I've previously created one that says all. It has everything selected except for behavior, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. And now all fields are selected. This one does not have landscape view, or is it going to show the social? And then this one just says medical information. And again, this is what I have pre-made. You have the ability of making your own PDFs. Now this name will show up on the top of the PDF itself, so you will want to make sure that it means something for you at your agency. So once you configure those, you can hit update. Going back to the dashboard, those are now accessible on the individual demographics form. So again, I'm going to individual demographics list, searching for my individual. And where it says PDF and printable, you have an option to display PDF, which is just what you see here on this form. And these are the 3 PDFs that I configured. I have my all, my emergency data form, and my medical. This again is just what you saw under the individual demographics form or the IDF. You do have an option to put your logo and additional information. I will show you that in just a minute. Again, just coming from the IDF information. This is all information where I included the social security number and beyond. It's got every field chosen. Here's my emergency data form. This is in the landscape view, so it's long ways. And then here's the medical information. Again, you can access that in the PDFs straight from the individual demographics form under the admin tab. Under the individual tab by searching, and again, under the individual homepage, click on the Mary Cox, and you now have those. Back on your dashboard, under Provider Preferences on the Admin tab, you will be able to add your logo if you choose, as well as the option to have fields selected that also appear at the top of your printable PDFs. You can uncheck these and that information would not appear. But those are options that you have when enabling and printing PDFs. Thank you for joining our training today.
As always with our Training Academy courses, after you've taken this course, you can reference it at any time or rewatch sections as needed. If you didn't pass the quiz the first time around, we're not going to penalize you for retaking the course. We want you to get this right. Thanks for watching.